Hey, Destiny Kids leaders. Hey, Destiny Kids communication team. Thank you for checking out this video. It is time to talk about this week's Bible story. Let's get into it. Okay, so this week's Bible story is a fun one, and it involves emojis, patience, and hangriness. So this week's Bible story is a fun one. It involves emojis, hangriness, and impatience. I'm sure we have some relatability to this story. I've been hangry before. You've been hangry. You use emojis. I use emojis. It's a great story. It's going to be fun for our students. So I want to encourage you to prepare at least about taking an hour this week to prepare for this story and make sure you're ready to go and you can teach it really well. And so that on stage, you have no doubt about how well you're going to do. You know you're going to do excellent. So I just want to give you a couple tips for this week's Bible story so that you know how to do it with excellence and do it to the best of your ability. So number one, this story is involving emojis and a lot of crowd participation. You're going to select a few students to help you out with this story by giving them emoji cards with words on them. So each emoji card is going to have different words. One's going to be hunter or hangry or yikes, or you'll see it in the Bible story. You're going to hand these emoji cards out to different kids. So I want you to be intentional about who you hand it out to, and think about the words and think about the age of the kid that you're giving the words to. So something like hunter, maybe a kindergartner might know it, or he may not. So you want to give it to someone maybe a second grader if you're in the K2 room, someone who'll know that. Or the word wilderness, the big words that can be a little confusing to younger kids. But the easy words like yikes, or twins or something like that, it'd be better for a kindergartner or a first grader. In third to fifth grade, you may not have this problem. Most of those kids in that room can read, so that it's a little different. So they can probably understand a little bit more. But besides that, be very intentional about. But besides that, I got a couple more things to share with you when it comes to the story. I want you to embellish this story, make it personify it, give it some life as you're telling the story about Esau being so hungry. I want you to make some stomach growling noises. I want you to talk about how you've been hungry before and it made you a little impatient. Have some fun with this story. It's a really great one and an easy one to embellish. So take some time to just talk about them. When Esau and Jacob are fighting in his mom's belly, be like, I remember when I fought with my brothers and sisters. Maybe something like that. Make it relatable, make it fun, and just exaggerate a little bit, because you will be reading from the script for this story because there's a lot of cue words. But we don't want to make it boring. A lot of times we can read from the script and it can get a little boring. And so we don't want to do that. We don't want it to be distracting. We want to be engaging for our returning families, our members, and even those first-time guests. I want them to have an amazing time in this Bible story time. So other than that, at the end, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get serious and sincere. There's going to be a point in time where you have to put the script down and talk about something very important to our kids. And just like I'm doing right now, how I slowed down all of my energy, when you do this, you'll allow the kids to re-engage and engage deeper if they're already engaged. When you change your vocal tone and the volume you speak with and the cadence you speak with, it draws in people's attention. And so you're telling your kids some really important information about patience and how they need to wait and how this story can apply to their life. So I want you to be taking your time when you're explaining this. Yes, we only have about 12 minutes for a Bible story, but take some time on this point. It's going to be really powerful, and this is what the kids are going to take home. You always want to have something practical at the end of your stories that kids can take home and do, because I hear the most praise from our parents is when we give a practical application of our Bible story and their kids do it that week. So it's beautiful that you have that influence on our kids. So be intentional about how you teach the story. Time yourself if you need to at home to make sure that you're ready and prepared for that story. But I really want to say you're going to do an amazing job. And thank you for checking out this Bible story update video. I can't wait to see you this weekend.